Hi everyone, my name is David Arrivée, and I'm the director of the Poly Symphony. Thanks for joining us tonight. Now, normally I would be right here in our beautiful Performing Arts Center, and you would be in the audience. I would be on stage talking to you about the concert. But these are not normal times. In preparation for this most unusual academic year, the Cal Poly Music Department has worked very closely with both county and university health officials to come up with a plan to allow students to participate in our ensembles and for everybody to stay safe. What that's meant for the symphony is that we've been rehearsing and recording as a hybrid ensemble. So what does that mean? That means that a reduced string ensemble with timpani has been able to meet in the pavilion of the Performing Arts Center with masks and a lot of space between players. At the same time, a reduced number of woodwinds and brass have met on the patio in front of Spanos Theater with masks, space, and a lot of fresh air, otherwise known as wind. Other students have joined us via Zoom, listening to our rehearsals and playing along. The performances you'll see tonight are a combination of all of these people. We'll play 3 pieces. The first one is Gordon Jacobs' Old Wine in New Bottles for just our winds and brass. The second piece is George Walker's Lyric for Strings for the strings. And then everybody comes together to play Beethoven's 7th Symphony, 2nd movement. And I'll say just a few words before each piece, like I normally do. In between our performances, you'll get to hear from our students as well. They came up with a few questions to ask each other, and you'll hear their answers. Speaking also of questions and answers, after the program, we'll have a brief Q&A session with myself and some of our students, and you can type in questions for us in the box below this video. So, our first piece, Gordon Jacobs' Old Wine in New Bottles. This is based on Old English tunes. That's the Old Wine, and it's in kind of a modern arrangement. That's the New Bottles part of the title. And as I said, this is just our winds and brass, and this was a perfect opportunity for them to play without headphones, listening to the strings, just themselves, and make music together. I hope you enjoy it. Here it is.
The most fun thing about orchestra is the people and the community and the sense of community that we all build together through playing the music and talking together at break.
I think the best thing about orchestra is just being able to perform a variety of different music from different styles and like different composers, but then also just being able to hear like that full orchestra sound with all of the different instruments is something really, really special.
My favorite thing about symphony is being able to play like challenging music with friends and be able to practice it and then come together as a group and really just like rehearse out of it. And it's been a lot of fun working with just the winds because we get a little more closer together in terms of like bonding through rehearsing, and it's been a lot of fun.
I think that's one of the most fun things for me is just being a part of the group, and we're all together, typically, obviously, creating really, things that we can't do individually, we can do collectively.
I think the most fun thing about orchestra is the fact that everyone comes from different majors and different backgrounds, and they come to Cal Poly probably thinking they're going to do different things, and then we all get to show up and play music together. So it's really cool, and you get to meet a lot of different kinds of people from different majors and everything, and people that I wouldn't get to meet otherwise.
Our next piece was written by George Walker, who began his career as a piano virtuoso and went on to become the first African American to receive the Pulitzer Prize in music. Now, the lyric for strings was written very early in his career when he was still doing graduate studies at the Curtis Institute, and it was a musical response to the death of his grandmother. I chose this piece not only because it's one of the most gorgeous pieces for string orchestra that I know, but also because it speaks musically and emotionally to the strange moment that we find ourselves in. So, George Walker's lyric for strings.
you can't hear anybody next to you, so you feel like you're playing alone, even though there are like 30 other musicians in the same room as you.
For me, I love playing orchestra because I love to work with other people to do music, and it's a little hard to play over a camera where I'm not making eye contact with my peers and playing with them. I feel like I'm playing over a Zoom meeting rather than really playing in a group.
The cold, for sure. It's very difficult to rehearse at night in the dark, in the cold, and attempt to be in tune and not have instruments break.
Oh, that would definitely be that I don't get access to my instrument because I play bass and the bass has to stay locked up in the instrument room, which means I only get to practice when we're having rehearsal, which doesn't really work, but that's just like a bass player thing, I guess.
I gotta go with my buddy Davis on this one. The like loud cars and everything going by, the traffic. There'll be like a RTA bus every once in a while. They're just so loud, and we're right outside the bus stop, so it's really distracting when we're trying to rehearse.
Our last piece is the second movement of the Seventh Symphony of Ludwig van Beethoven, and this is music written more than 200 years ago. But at the night of its premiere, the audience loved this second movement so much they called for an encore. And this is music that's just as powerful now as it was way back then. I chose this music not only because it's fantastic music, but again, emotionally it speaks a little bit to where we are. It's a lot of fun to play though, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed playing it. Thank you for coming tonight, and I hope to actually see you again soon.
I really look forward to being able to play, this is gonna sound so cliche, in a full orchestra with strings and play like a full symphony again. I miss that.
Well, there's so much. I don't even remember what life was like. um, but I think I've been lamenting a lot about how I miss going to like symphony shows and like theater shows and being able to dress up and go to, like a nice dinner and like an evening in the city. I miss that.
The first thing I want to do when all this is over is just have a solid rehearsal in the band room and just make good music together.
After this is all over, I think we should have a bonfire and go to Pismo or do what we used to do. Yeah.
I want to celebrate. I want to go to my family. I want to meet all my new cousins because babies are popping out in my family and I would like to see their faces. I can see them via like Instagram and Facebook, but it'd be nice to just be with people again.